Yes, hello there. We're here in Houston at the NASA Visitor Center, and Houston, for those who don't know, is about more than 8,000 kilometers away from Germany or Europe. And I'm Jürgen Zachrau. I've been working here for the last 15 years on the assembly, integration, and the operation of the International Space Station. Today we have a very particular day, and we will be seeing something which can only be seen here today at this location. But before that, I'll give you a little more background on what else is going on here before we actually go to the site of the scene. Thank you. Most of you might relate Houston more to the Apollo days, to the early Apollo days, in particular with Apollo 13 when Jim Lovell called down Houston, we have a problem. And at that time, he probably was not aware how significant that problem was. However, with the combined expertise and the effort of the Houston control team, the Apollo 13 crew was brought down safely, and NASA flew another couple of successful missions to the moon at that time. After a couple of years or a couple of flights, with the technical capabilities of those days, the scientific results were basically exhausted, so the Apollo program was discontinued, and it became fairly quiet here in Houston. There was a time when the next vehicle was developed. There was the Space Shuttle, which most of you might relate more to the spectacular launches at the launch site in Cape Canaveral. But what many people do not know, at the point the commentator said the shuttle has cleared the tower. In that moment, the Houston control team took over the whole shuttle flight up to the landing, mostly in California. The first couple of years, the Space Shuttle always landed, or almost always landed in California on the big dried out salt lakes, just because the Space Shuttle did not have no active control during the landing, but it was basically a very, very fast sailplane, and they needed to have some margin for the landing attempts, but everything worked fine all those years. However, the problem was the landing was in California on the west coast, and the launch facility was on the east coast. So how do you get that space shuttle back from one place to the other without having an active means to fly the space shuttle itself? So basically, what NASA did is take a Boeing 747, a big jumbo jet, put the space shuttle on top of that and ferry it across the country back to the East Coast and start the whole process all over again. Why do I tell you that today? Now, today is the day here at the NASA Visitor Center in Houston that this Boeing 747 will find its permanent exhibition resting place, basically, and on top of that, here today we will be live guests on observing how a full-size space shuttle mock-up will be mounted on top of the 747, and we will be watching it. Now we are watching live how the space shuttle model will be hoisted onto the Boeing 747. That will take about 30 to 45 minutes, and depending on weather condition, that has never been done before and will not be done again. So this is a one-time operation only, and it depends also a little bit on safety and wind direction, so we'll see how that goes. So, but we will play that at a time lapse, and I'll give you a little bit of background information during that hoist. The shuttle model itself has been on display in Florida for many years, and about 3 years ago it was brought to Houston when Florida got one of the original space shuttles for display. So we got the model here in Houston, but this location is very unique because we have the space shuttle model in combination with the 747, which we have nowhere else on the world. People often think or ask me, since I work here in Houston, now that the shuttle is retired, what are you doing all day? So my answer is what many people do not know. The shuttle, or the last more than 10 years of the Space Shuttle and almost 35 of its last missions were dedicated to assemble and outfit the International Space Station, which was declared complete around 2011 when the Space Shuttle was taken out of commission. So since then those budgets are used for future programs. The space station is actually running on what it was meant to be, namely a science platform in space, and now we dedicate a much greater deal of the astronaut crew time to perform in science in space. So today most of the supply flights are made by unmanned space vehicles, and recently we have also two in fact commercial space vehicles who supply the space station with food and experimental supplies. The crew itself is currently still replaced by Russian Soyuz vehicles, and that happens 4 times a year with with a crew of 3. So we have this crew of 6 based on the space station. I have a quick picture series on the assembly of the space station from the beginning, since I have been working here all those years, from the first modules being launched in 1998 until the assembly was complete. And we had a very nice shot by one European astronaut when he left the space station. He was able from the Soyuz capsule to create some very nice views from the space station while the space shuttle was still docked to the station. That's basically it, what we had here from the assembly of the mock-up to the 747. We're back here about 2 weeks later, so in the meantime the mock-up has been tightened to the 747 and the construction site has been removed. All the scaffolding is mostly gone away. The next step will be there will be stairs installed to enter either vehicle, the 747 and also the shuttle mock-up. But that will take time, and most importantly it will take funding. So the Space Center Houston is soliciting funding to finance the next final works on this. In this stage, as it currently is about 80% complete. That was basically all I had to report here on this event here today, so I hope we have some more exciting stories in the future, and until then, see you and bye-bye.